an opportunity to connect with him. You guys have been doing something amazing with the fitness culture throughout the day on the 16th of June. We truthfully appreciate what you guys have been doing. I mean, young people need to be engaged consistently in terms of training and also into the culture of fitness. I mean, it's the 16th of June. We celebrate Youth Day in South Africa in a very unique environment where we are all in lockdown level 3, and I think this is going to be a unique one because under normal circumstances Usabelo would be having all of you guys training with him right in the hall or sometimes in some auditoriums, and I've seen him traveling other countries around the world. Well, my name is Tammy Banda. I'm glad to be here. Sabelo hijacked me to really participate in this program, and I'm going to share a couple of beautiful things with you. I'm a young person as well, though my age is now, according to the structure in South Africa, kicking me out from calling myself a youthful person. But yeah, I'm a relatively young person born in KwaZulu-Natal, and I'm based in Johannesburg. There are a couple of things that I would want to share with you based on my lessons ever since we went through a lockdown, and I think those are lessons as well that might be impactful to you. But a little bit of background on who I am and what I do in my life. Previously, I was involved with the City of Tshwane as the media relations manager, and I moved on to be part of the 2010 FIFA World Cup in the preparations days. And those were the times when I started to meet and know Sabelo, a very enthusiastic young man who was coming from KwaZulu-Natal, and it was first time around Johannesburg, and we became friends. And I moved on then to a number of multinationals, and currently I'm serving a company called Edrington, and I'm looking after the whiskey called the Macallan, but I'm not drinking today. We are only chatting. Right, so here are a couple of lessons that I have learned throughout my lockdown period, and I think they might be useful or come in handy into your life. Number one, they are not a lot. don't be alarmed by me calling them by numbers. But I also want to just to share with you that time spent alone is an opportunity for you to learn or discover more out of yourself. It is very important for you to notice that there is no time that you are given like on earth that means nothing to you. So even during the lockdown process, one of the greatest lessons that I learned is that time that I was given to spend alone was also an opportunity for me to spend time or invest on myself. This investment could be in many ways. I mean, people who have been on Sabelo's platform since this morning have been investing in terms of fitness. So that's part of it as well, to make sure that the time that you spend alone does not just become time that is wasted, but you invest it in something that is tangible for your life. That has happened to me in many, many years. I mean, I remember when I was a street kid in Johannesburg, which is where really my life was shaped up. I learned an opportunity thing that time set aside for thinking is important. You don't just say, well, I'll think about it, but you actually put time aside to think and look at your life and say, where am I going? So time that you spend alone should always be time that you invest to yourself, whether that investment comes from reading something or researching something or watching a documentary. Guys, I appreciate people who watch movies, I appreciate people who watch series, but if it's something that doesn't build you, that doesn't promote you, that doesn't provoke you to do something important, I would urge you not to do it. There is nothing that is as precious and that is as crucial in life as time. So don't take it for granted that time that you spend on yourself is waste. Time that you spend alone, find something to do with it. Even if you were to pull up a journal or do something that is going to be meaningful in your future, write a couple of notes down. You don't know what is going on in your brain. So if you just lock it down and just say, well, I'm on my own, no one cares, no one is talking to me, you will waste precious time that you don't actually get all the time. So it's important to know that time that is spent alone is an opportunity to discover and improve yourself as well. And the other thing, since we are on social media, I want to highlight this one. It's always I've heard that even in the eastern countries in Asia, in particularly, they struggle with this. Numbers don't mean influence, and I'm saying this because we are on a social media platform. The fact that when you post your picture, when you write a comment, or when you are live, like we are live right now, you don't get the highest numbers, it doesn't mean that you are not influential. Neither does it mean that if you get a lot of numbers, you are influential. One of the greatest things that I've learned about social media is that what is negative actually gets more likes, gets more numbers or followers. But what is positive doesn't get a lot of likes. I would have loved to see Sabelo's page almost collapsing today because we are talking fitness. People have been training, people have been exercising, which is a big thing in our country because we've been talking about obesity, we've been talking about being health conscious, we've been talking about COVID-19, which also says that if you don't have certain things of fitness around your life being relevant, you would probably suffer the consequences of the virus and what it does to other people. So, I mean, we don't look at that in our lives. We just think that it's important for me to have numbers. Numbers don't mean influence. Let me be honest with you. I've never seen actually a page that is literally dedicated to some of the most influential people in the world. But yet when they speak, no matter how many clips get shared on social media platform, those have an impact in our lives. So don't always measure your life according to numbers. And those numbers also don't necessarily mean numbers in social media. Don't measure the quality of your life by numbers that you see on your bank statement. The quality of your life is not measured by money. The quality of your life is measured by how disciplined you are. The quality of progress or influence in your life is measured by how disciplined you are. Again, I would emphasize on what was happening today, that, I mean, a lot of guys have been training. They've been here and they've been exercising. And I mean, I would be wrong if I say the time that they've spent and the numbers that they've gained or lost in terms of the fitness, the calories that they've dropped, those are influential numbers in their lives. They are not going up, they are going down, but it's important because that's what fitness is all about. So sometimes it's important for us to understand that numbers are not everything and they're not the key defining factor of what we know. The other thing that I want to share with you is that fake life has limited time span. I'm so blessed to be working in an environment where I meet a lot of people. I mean, alcohol is a very interesting environment. You go to events, you get invited in places, you go to speak in certain places. I mean, in my personal space, in my personal business, which, by the way, we started with Sabelo a couple of years ago and we called it I Matter. I don't want to talk about it today because there's this movement called Black Lives Matter and they will think we are hijacking it. And yet we started this program called I Matter with Sabelo probably in 2015. When you look at how we look at programs and decide and devise them, one of the most important things that we have literally spent enough time on is to make sure that the greatest currency that you have in the world is adaptation. I'll repeat that. The greatest currency you have in the world is adaptation. Look at what has happened in the past 4 months. If you fail to adapt, if the guys that we're training here were failing to switch on their social media platforms and watch Sabelo and his colleagues training them, they would still be stuck without training, waiting for gyms to open. The greatest currency you have in the world is adaptation. It's not a pound, it's not a euro, it's not a dollar, it's not a rand. It's adaptation. If you have a skill to adapt, you can live anywhere in the world. There are kids right now that I can tell you for a fact that are being born in Israel and they grow up understanding bombings, they grow up understanding AK-47s, and they become CEOs. Greatest technologies that we have in the world currently, especially in the motor vehicles, come from the Israel country. But we grew up knowing that Israel has constantly been at war. But those kids grew up in an environment where they choose to adapt and make the best out of the environment that they have and the opportunities that they get. So the greatest currency in my life is not a pound, it's not a euro, it's not a dollar, it's not even a rand. It's adaptation. When you learn to adapt, you will progress quite quick in life. So if you fail to adapt to any particular situation, there is something that you must do with yourself because progress will be limited by your incapacity to adapt. Now, let me go back to fake lifestyle that has got a very limited time span. You know, when I was saying that we're in an environment, I'm in an environment where we participate in events and alcohol and all of things like that. I've often noticed that people are always under pressure to live fake. I'll repeat it. People are always under pressure to live fake. I learned something that is very important about a fake lifestyle. It's so limited and it truly exposes your shallowness as an individual because you live it to impress others. You don't live it to fulfill yourself. I don't consume what I can't afford. And I don't stop admiring what I can't afford, but I don't consume it. Because I know that the fake life has got a very limited time span. I don't have to, I mean, I'm one of the people that probably are considered stingy by my friends. I wake up every morning to shave my own head. I'm not saying people shouldn't go to salons. I wake up every morning to shave my own head. I'm not under pressure to have a particular hairstyle. I'm not under pressure to fit in a particular way. I'm not under pressure to dress in a particular format. I mean, as it is, I almost asked Sabelo that we cancel this, and I thought of the adverts that he had put through because I'm not feeling too good. But the truth of the matter is that having an opportunity to tell somebody else that a fake lifestyle has a short lifespan is important to my heart. I don't want you to find yourself in a place where you could have invested, but you went to buy a car that you can't afford to put a full tank on. I don't want to find you someday being unable to live a dream of your house because you bought a shirt that you're still paying via credit card 8 months later and the shirt is torn on its collar. And that's what we see. We see people who sit around with us and they drink expensive drinks, they drink expensive champagnes, they dress best clothes, but the credit card needs to be paid over a 12-month period in a bottle that was consumed in February. In December, you're still paying for the debt of it. A fake lifestyle has got a short lifespan. I beg that you don't find yourself in a place like that. The other one is that the secret of every confidant is in sealed lips. When I say something like that, actually, I'm going to challenge you to find out if you've ever sat down to decide who is your friend. People think a friend is a person that you talk to. I've always asked this question: do you know the difference between a confidant, a friend, and an acquaintance? Because I personally can accept I don't have a friend. I don't have a friend. I have acquaintances and two confidants in my life. And when I want to explain that point, it always looks very controversial. But let me tell you, for me, what is a confidant, and that's why I'm saying that a confidant's power is in his sealed lips. A confidant is a person that I go to literally throw up, like puke everything that is within me, and I know that it is safe with them. I can't find that with a friend. I'll be honest with you, and I'll define what a friend is to me. If you take that definition, you can apply it in your life as well. A confidant is someone that I can go and tell them the worst thing that I have done, confess it to them, and I know that it will be sealed. They don't have to be with me everywhere I go. They don't have to see me everywhere I am. But the truth of the matter is, there are people that I'm willing to go to and confess the truthfulness about myself, and they'll tell me that's not the way to go, because confidants are in it for you. They're not in it for a certain cause. They are in it for you. Whether you are down or you are up, they are there for you. They are not there for anything else, but they're just there for you. They support you for what you believe in. When I first met Sabir, it was in 2015, like I said earlier. He always believed in what he could achieve in terms of what the fitness culture is known for today, with all the sponsors that he's now able to get. But when you saw him at the time when he was a fitness instructor at the Southgate Virgin Active, you would have thought that this guy is just living a pipe dream. But those who believed in it literally stuck around him, and those are his confidants. They worked with him until he got to achieve what he's achieving now. And I can safely tell you, it's still at entry level of where this young man is going, based on the things that he believes in and how he's passionate about the fitness environment and the healthy lifestyle. So if you look at him, if he didn't have a right confidant, he would have people who will not tell him that, by the way, if you are not fit yourself, you cannot have people who are following you to be fit. So you've got to wake up every morning. You've got to train yourself. You've got to learn the mark. You've got to set the trend. You've got to be a trailblazer for those who will follow you to believe in the concept that you have. And look at him today. But if he had friends, friends are very interesting people. I call friends people who are with you because there is a common value that you need out of each other. So the currency of your relationship is value. But if people don't have anything that they value out of you, do you know what they do all the time? They set the tone for you to follow every time. They give you a call on a Saturday or on a Tuesday like this, and they say, hey, mfethu sikhipani siyaphi namhlanje. Who told them that I want to go somewhere? Who told them that I can't really stay home and really study about my life or develop my life for the better? Or probably be studying and researching about something that I really want to do in future, or learning something that is new that I didn't discover about the world. They always set the agenda for you because you have nothing that is valuable to offer. So true friendship, like I said, I will define it for you according to me, is where I have a value to offer in exchange to the value that you give. If there's no value that I get out of you and there's no value that I'm offering you, I don't call you a friend. I call you a person that I know. If I have nothing that I exchange with you that is of value, and you have nothing that you give me of value, I don't call you my friend. I call you a person that I know. And a confidant is the person that I go to confess everything else, and they are there for me. They give me a call and they say, you said in 3 months' time you'd be here, and I don't see you here. What are you doing about it? That's my confidant. It doesn't have to be where I am. It doesn't have to see what I do every day, but it's got the schedule of what my life is all about. So the secret of every confidant is in sealed lips, so that even in my failures, which I've confessed with him, he will never tell anybody else about it. Second last is that the inspiration is a skill that few leaders possess. Nothing has exposed people or leaders in the lockdown period like the lack of inspiration. You don't lead people in times of despair, you inspire them. If you look at the fitness culture motto and how they've dealt with people, there are people who came to this program and they were overweight. They felt that they are not acceptable in terms of society, and they are not acceptable in terms of their own individual goals. But the truth about it is that when they got into the program, they were inspired to participate. You might have inspired them as one of the athletes that participates or fitness people that participate. They might have been inspired by no one speaking to them, by looking up to those who are already in the culture and into the movement. And they said, you know what, I'm going to join in and I'm going to be part of this. So in times of despair, which like the person who would have been joining the fitness culture as an unfit person, as weak person, or as an unhealthy or obese person, literally needed inspiration, because that's their moment of despair. During COVID-19, I learned that we don't have a lot of inspirational leaders. We've got a lot of situational leaders. People want to look at the situation and start to have wisdom right now. But the truth of the matter is, at that point, the nation needs inspiration. I'm a firm believer that a fair communication about what we've been going through, or what our nation has been going through, and what the public should respond to would have been far much better than us being locked down. But because we were not inspired to do that, we found reasons even to break the lockdown rules, because we are not inspired. Because in every scenario of despair, inspirational leadership is required. We look back right now to the youth of the 16th of June in 1976. As a person who had not lived at that particular time, when I read about them, I am inspired. They laid down their lives for me rather, to have an opportunity to engage on social platforms like this. If South Africa did not become a democratic state in 1994, I doubt that we would be allowed to even communicate on Facebook. There are some democratic nations in the world that don't have access to social media. I don't even know that we'll be interacting as a nation. I don't even know that we would have full access to the internet as the previously disadvantaged community. So if I look at them, they were inspirational to me, and they continue to be inspirational to this day. How do they inspire me? They put their lives on the line in times of despair. So it is important for you to have a moment where you define or design a moment of inspiration for yourself as well. And don't forget, the greatest leader you'll ever come across is you. It's a guy that you find on the mirror. And by the way, let me challenge you whilst I'm talking about the guy on the mirror. It's not a shame to look at yourself to the mirror, eyeball to eyeball, and say to yourself, I love you. There is a shortage of people who love in this world, and it starts from them not having love for self. Because if you have nothing or less of yourself inside, you have nothing or less of what to offer in the world. Because you can only offer something that is full out of you and it overflows. If I look at this container and I had to say, if this was me and this is love, only when it is full and it overflows, it can be able to give somebody else the same. So what is overflowing out of me would be what I can give. If I cannot stand in the mirror and look at myself and say, I love you, Tamsanga Banda, I will not be able to love anybody else, because I'm love bankrupt. So it's important that when you evaluate yourself, don't forget your emotions. Don't forget to inspire yourself. The greatest leader you've got is you. You've got your own fingerprints. They are unique to you. You've got your own features. They are unique to you. You might have resemblance of your family members, but you are unique, and you are the only great leader we have. And unfortunately, you are also the best follower you have. Have time to revisit your dream and ask yourself, am I in path of what I used to inspire myself to be, or I'm also on the doldrums of what everybody else has made me to become? The last point is devotion and commitment is in actions than association. I will explain that very easily. Devotion and commitment is in action than in association. There are many people who are Sabelo's friends who are not fit. They are devoted to him, but they're not committed to his culture or to his lifestyle. So in some instances, don't be fooled by the number of the associations that you have, and you think that, oh, well, they are devoted and committed to the cause. They are not. In fact, they are the types of people that I define as a constituent. A constituent is a group of people that may look like friends. They are there with you everywhere, but they are not there for you. They are not there even for a support structure. They are there for a cause. If they see somebody who can take them to the cause quicker than you, they dump you. Let me make an example. I've been consistent in what I post on social media ever since I got into Facebook. I challenge you to go through my Facebook page and see the things that I've posted. I've been very, very consistent. But the more I work in alcohol, the higher the number of friends I get. I wonder if I was working for Tastic, or friend requests rather, I get. I wonder if I was working for Tastic Rice or for Sunlight Liquid, I would have so many people that want to become my friend. The truth of the matter is, no. They like me for what I have got. They don't like me for who I am, because they don't know who I am. They know what I am in their eyes. So it's important for me to have a moment where I lean back and I say, I might have a number of people that are around me, but they're not with me for the cause. They're not devoted to me. They're not committed to me. They are by association. If they take away what associates us together, I lose them as friends. I remember I went through a sabbatical of 3 years. I used to work for a company called Glenfiddich at that particular time. I went on a sabbatical for 3 years to try and study and get more knowledge within the industry which I'm involved in. I lost quite a number of friends. My phone could last for almost 2 days without being charged because calls were not coming through. You know why? No one could call me now and say to me, hey, yeah, yazi mfethu nginebhrayi, angizamele ibhodlela lapha. Oh, zikhiphani mfethu kunani ebhutini. Why? Because I was no longer involved with the company where they thought that I was a warehouse. But all of a sudden, when I got back into the industry, some people have been saying, hey, no, we've missed you for a while, my brother. They don't like me. They don't need to tell me that they don't like me. I know that. They like what I do. They don't like who I am. I doubt actually that even if they had to show up in my funeral, if I die and they are there, they would be there to bury me. They would be there to drink the drinks that I've kept as special for myself in my house. And I know that. And I'm comfortable with that because devotion does not necessarily mean commitment. It's just by association sometimes. So these are a few things that I have learned about the lockdown period. I know that you've been running late in your class, and I promised to Sabelo that I was going to talk for 30 minutes. I've seen that it's 20 minutes, 36 seconds. I would like to end it here so that they can make up of the time that they've lost because they've been running behind for about 15 minutes or so. But let me give you a final thought that you would probably meditate on throughout this period of the 16th of June. And I hope it lives with your mind until you get into your birthday next year. If it is coming through this year, well, happy birthday in advance. Working on a negative personality is the best New Year resolution or birthday gift you can give to yourself. If you were to sit down and you know the truth about yourself and work on things that are negative about you, you would have given yourself a best birthday gift or perhaps even a New Year resolution. All of us want to say good things about ourselves. Few people want to sit down and say, I'm short tempered. Few people want to say, I'm a liar. Few people say, I procrastinate. If you confronted all those things about yourself, I can assure you now that within a period of a year, you would improve your life by almost 40%. Because each one of us have got a little devil inside of us. And if we sit down and analyze him and deal with him effectively and decisively, we will improve to become better people and we can contribute into a greater and a better society. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. And thanks to Sabelo and all other fitness trainers that have been doing a wonderful job on this platform. And I appreciate each and every person who has tuned in, including people that have been with me on my page. I thank you that you guys took your time and your most precious data and listened to my rambling. And I hope the little information that we have shared will build us to become a better people in the future. May God bless you. May God bless the Republic of South Africa. And may we all become better citizens that contribute to a greater society as a whole. Thank you so much.